I don't listen to anything other than rap music. Other genres, maybe 3 or 4 rock songs from a particular artist, 5 from that one, 6 from that one, 2, 1. I can't call myself a genuine fan of these people. Now, I don't know about other genres, but in rap music, the obsession that we've always had is finding out who is the greatest of all time. It's a conversation that never stops. I have no clue if the shit always happens in country music. I don't know if it happens in rock music, but it fucking for sure happens in rap music. Every day, there's a new blog, there's a new list, there's a new conversation in an interview about who is the greatest, except this particular one was specifically about who is the greatest right now. Vince Staples happens to think that it's Kendrick Lamar. Now, that is a conventional, common answer to that question. Cruz then suggests to him that maybe Eminem is in the conversation as well. And he brings up Eminem's record sales, Eminem's influence, and Vince Staples tells Cruz the sales don't mean anything. The sales being taken out of that conversation to me is, I don't understand it. I don't get it. The conversation that we have is mostly based on things that can't be scaled. We talk about degree of skill. We talk about degree of influence. We talk about the degrees of punchlines, the degrees of flow. That can't be scaled. It cannot be determined. But yet they are the largest, the biggest components within that greatest of all time conversation when we are comparing, that person's bars to that person's lyrics and so on. You get what I'm saying? To take out sales is something that I understand because, as I said, those unscalable things take up most of the conversation, and about 5% of the conversation should be about sales. It's not the most important thing, but you can't ignore it. If we're constantly having this conversation, there has to be something solid to it, something that you can sort of stamp and say that while we can't determine who's better than who in what department, just for the sake of conversation, this person sold 300,000 their very first week. That's not to say that that should determine their place in history. If we're going to have the conversation, we should have a way to gauge what public opinion really results into. Because we can talk conversation all day. It could be my words against yours. Somebody can say a response to this video within this particular topic, and you can, say whatever you want. But at the end of the day, we have to see, well, how does the public feel about it? They can say whatever they want with their mouths, but what's the consumer saying with their wallet? Because Vince knows it's a business. He understands that. So that can't be ignored. We can't turn a blind eye to it. If you want to have a conversation about the greatest artist, the most thoughtful, the most influential, the most compelling artist that is always reinventing themselves, and that's a deeper conversation. That's not the conversations that we're having when we're talking about the hottest. First of all, conversations about those sort of individuals should never involve lists. So I get what Vince is saying, but it's the conversation isn't that abstract. It's more of a conversation where we're trying to categorize certain things, and in order to categorize them, we need something to stamp them with. If you're going to agree that we can compartmentalize these people and say he's number 1, he's number 2, he's number 3, then you sort of already agreed to this solid form of the rigidness of putting something within a list. You should be able to understand that.